following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
Tonight, HBO Sports celebrates a cherished milestone as we add another championship fight to an already unforgettable list.
From Palmer Park, Maryland, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Rolex, stand by to track it. Need lights on a ringside bill. Roll bait. Why still store? It's all floor. Get that microphone in there.
Move in and out! Good stuff from Melvin Taylor. Chavez on the verge of going down.
Classic one-punch knockout. This is the most trouble I've ever seen Ray Leonard in right here.
Richard Steele has seen enough.
And down goes Holmes, and that's going to be. How do you like it? How do you like it? Punishing Hearns now. It doesn't get much better than that. Most anticipated fight in here. She can't get it off. Hacker goes in for the kill now. He's going. Off the ropes. Leonard fighting off the ropes. Rips another uppercut, and Cooper standing stuck still.
This could be it now.
This one is history.
The biggest upset in the history of heavyweight championship fights.
And we have a new era in boxing.
Tonight, we proudly present HBO's 100th championship fight. Terry Norris versus Meldrick Taylor.
Let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World.
Boxing is the purest form of human competition. Man against man. More than any other sport, boxing demands courage. It requires skill. And so when two young champions, both in the prime of their careers, step into the ring, it generates matchless excitement. Like well-choreographed dances, champions have the ability to paint indelible pictures of speed, power, heart, and determination. But champions achieve resonant greatness only when matched against their equals. They are remembered not so much for their victories as for their arduous battles. Tonight, Terry Norris takes on Meldrick Taylor. Even in boxing, it doesn't get much better than this. Tonight, we come to you live from the Mirage in Las Vegas, Nevada, as HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. WBC Super Welterweight Champion Terry Norris puts his title on the line against the WBA Welterweight Champion Meldrick Taylor. The fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. Every once in a while in the sport of boxing, we see two fighters meet at the moment which is for both the critical crossroads of their careers. We saw it with Leonard versus Hearns in the 80s, again with Pryor and Arguello, the memorable slugfest of Hagler-Hearns, and a couple of years ago when one of these men, Meldrick Taylor, entered the ring with the great Julio Cesar Chavez. In a few moments, yet another such matchup. The welterweight champion, Taylor, goes into the ring to try to take away the title of the WBC Super Welterweight titleist, Terry Norris. In the complicated business world of boxing, you just can't do much better than this. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome back to HBO's World Championship Boxing for what is truly a special occasion for all of us. Tonight we celebrate our 100th telecast of a World Championship fight. It took us 20 years to reach this milestone, and later on in the broadcast, we will give you a reminiscence, a remembrance of some of the moments that brought us this far. And with that in mind, I want to mention two men who aren't here with us tonight on this broadcast, but who have been so much a part of HBO Sports in the past that their names must be mentioned. One, our longtime expert commentator, five-time world champion Sugar Ray Leonard. He's here at ringside tonight, and we'll get a chance to say hello to him off camera. And, of course, the man who preceded me as blow-by-blow commentator here for so many years and now does a terrific job of it elsewhere in the business, Barry Tompkins. Barry, wherever you are, we are thinking of you. You're in our thoughts and our memories tonight. Now to the business at hand, which is a fight so great that we don't have to hype it for you, don't have to sell it to you at all if you know anything about boxing. The venerable HBO boxing analyst, Larry Merchant, who's been so much a part of the last 20 years himself, is as excited as I've seen him in a long, long time.
You've noticed.
Yes, been bouncing up and down all week.
And I'd be excited if this was our 74th championship fight or our 112th championship fight. Because if there's one thing we've learned over the years is that when champions meet, we expect a lot of them, and frequently they exceed our expectations. That's because champions not only have skill and will, but because they are risk takers. They'll take a risk to get an advantage in the ring. And then the champion they're fighting will take a risk to get the advantage back. That's why I am hopeful that this fight can join our highlight reel.
And everyone expects, of course, that it will. There are so many narrative threads related to this fight, so many competitive angles, we could probably talk about it for hours, but there are only minutes to go before fight time, and we welcome back to the fold our expert commentator, George Foreman, who comes back to one of the easiest of your jobs, George, particularly compared to what you did against Alex Stewart a few weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, I wanted to be down there with you.
I'll bet you did. It's all going to come down to what they do in the ring, and right now they're in the final moments of thinking through this process in their dressing rooms. From a strategic standpoint, what are Taylor and Norris focusing on now?
Well, you think about since the days of Dempsey and Joe Louis, fight managers and trainers have told the big punchers, get out there, hit him hard, let him know who's in charge, don't give him any false courage. But tonight, it's a different view. You get out there, you move, you dance, let him miss you 4 times, then you're in control. It's another day altogether.
So they're thinking about not getting hit.
It's going to be the strategy. The best defensive fighter tonight is going to walk away with a title.
They're going to hit each other anyway, George. And now for what's at stake. For Terry Norris, he has the misfortune of having scored his 3 biggest victories against John McGovey, Donald Curry, and Ray Leonard, 3 fighters who were at the end of their competitive ropes. Now tonight, he goes in against a great champion who is very close to in his prime.
Hey, Crash. Guess what? Guess what, huh? I'm going to the show. Big club's expanding its roster to finish out the season. Nice shot. And I am going to the show.
Yeah, I know how he feels. And now I'm going to the show. Long overdue, but well worth the wait.
For Terry Norris, the wait for a quality opponent to help him earn the public notoriety he's longed for has been a grueling test of patience. It didn't happen with Sugar Ray Leonard. It didn't come with Donald Curry. Now he's banking on Meldrick Taylor.
It is the biggest fight in my whole career. Everybody's gonna know Terry Norris, and that's one of the main reasons why I fight is to be recognized. I fight for recognition more than the money.
Against Meldrick Taylor, there will be plenty of money and recognition. You see, all great fighters need a foil to make them greater, to catapult them to that ultimate level, a level all boxers dream of, but few ever attain. Muhammad Ali was the greatest, but it took his 3 epic battles against Joe Frazier to consecrate his superstar status. With 60 victories to his name, there was no one in boxing who exemplified the work ethic like Marvin Hagler. But this champion wasn't a superstar until he knocked out Thomas Hearns. Sometimes the right opponent can lure a fighter to an even higher level. Marvin Hagler would do just that for Sugar Ray Leonard. It was Leonard's greatest triumph. And though he was undisputed champion, some questioned what a young Mike Tyson could do against a quality opponent. 91 seconds later, there was no doubt. But for Terry Norris, there have been no Joe Fraziers, no Marvin Haglers, no Michael Spinks. And many times, the best in boxing don't meet. Add to that a division devoid of stars, and Terry Norris has been left fighting a cast of unknown challengers.
People may say they're not the top fighters out there, you know, to really just put me in the spotlight, but everybody that I fight is rated in the top 10. I don't turn down challenges. I just take the fights as they come, and Meldrick Taylor, you know, is in my way for bigger things, and I plan on moving him come May 9th. And
so in the footsteps of so many great champions who preceded him, Terry Norris may finally have found someone who can help him define his greatness. Meldrick Taylor, a young champion in his prime and on a common mission.
I know that there's going to be a lot to gain out of this fight. I believe fighting Meldrick Taylor, will be the fight that will push me over. And that will be basically a stepping stone for Terry Norris to show that he is the best fighter in the world.
As he's done so many times before in quiet solitude, this unheralded champion wraps his instruments of destruction. He contemplates, but never before with such purpose and focus. Terry Norris has made it to the show, and only one man stands in the way of an encore performance. And now we bring you back live to the Mirage for our 100th championship fight on HBO. Unquestionably, the #1 matchup outside the heavyweight division in the sport since March 1990 in Taylor Chavez. Terry Norris defending his WBC Super Welterweight Championship against WBA Welterweight champ Meldrick Taylor. And Larry Merchant, a fascinating circumstance attends the build-up to this fight. You go anywhere you want in the boxing world, talk to writers, trainers, fighters, broadcasters. It is almost impossible to find somebody who thinks that Meldrick Taylor is going to win the fight.
I have found the same thing, and I'm quite astonished. Not that Norris shouldn't win the fight, but that you cannot find much support for Taylor at all. And in fact, a few minutes ago, I went into the legal bookmakers here, and the odds are going up on Norris. It's now 2-1 in favor of Norris. People are betting Norris like the fight is over. And that's because there is a certain conventional wisdom that has sunk in here about this fight. Terry Norris is a very, very good fighter, and he is seen as the stronger man against a Taylor who hasn't been as positive or as sensational since he moved up to the welterweight division from the lightweight divisions. But there should be an unconventional wisdom that is taken into account here, and that is this. Meldrick Taylor is a class athlete. He has always performed at his best in the big fight. He has always come up to the occasion. He won 2 national amateur championships at the age of 15 and an Olympic gold medal at the age of 17. He's always taken on the best out there and always performed at that. So I think, Jim, that when a man comes down from a huge fight, like the Chavez fight, huge in terms of its buildup and in terms of how punishing it was for both fighters, he falls into a plateau, and every other fight for him becomes a kind of a lower stakes fight. These are the big stakes again. And so I'm just curious whether Meldrick Taylor has fooled a lot of people and he's going to come up a lot bigger than is anticipated.
Well, indeed, it is something to behold. All he's done since the Chavez fight is to fight 5 times, win the welterweight championship, successfully defending it 3 times. But he hasn't been knocking people out, George. He hasn't been impressing people the way everyone thinks he did before. These last 5 fights since the Chavez fight, are they the ones that tell us the most about Meldrick Taylor or the least about him?
Some of both. But I want you to know this is the time for people. He's been wanting people to stop asking him about Chavez. What happened in that last round? He can wipe his slate clean with a victory tonight, and that's all he's thinking about. He probably hasn't eaten good in 3 days.
Doubly important for Taylor because it now appears he may never get that coveted second shot at Julio Cesar Chavez. But it's yet another moment to prove himself for Meldrick Taylor. As Larry said, a success in virtually everything he's done all through his career, but never fully secure. By almost any measure, Meldrick Taylor should have been a superstar. Youngest Olympic boxing gold medalist ever, a pro champion by age 21. Everything was going his way. But then the Taylor juggernaut slammed into Julio Cesar Chavez, and with 2 seconds left in that bout, the incident that redefined Meldrick Taylor's boxing life.
If he gets up, he probably wins the fight. I can't believe it!
Unbelievable! Richard Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go. This is one of the most unusual calls by a referee in the whole history of the sport. How does a fighter respond to a traumatic physical beating? How does a boxer come back from such a heartbreaking, controversial decision? Since the Chavez fight, those are the questions everyone has asked about Meldrick Taylor, and the answers have been anything but clear.
I've been concerned the last couple fights that he hasn't looked good and he hasn't picked up.
You know, you go back, a couple of years ago when he got knocked out by with 2 seconds to go, and they stopped the fight with Chavez, and then we had to bring him back. We brought him back in lesser fights. We brought him back with opponents that would give him the confidence. Did he live up to that potential? No, I don't think he did.
There are skeptics out there that think that I might have had slip or something, but look where I'm at today. From when I lost my title, look where I'm at today. I haven't lost a step at all. I haven't really felt I look lackluster. I haven't looked great, but I haven't looked that bad where I look lackluster.
But when even his own manager thinks he hasn't looked good, maybe the skeptics have a point when they argue Taylor isn't the same fighter he was before Chavez. After watching a sometimes sluggish Taylor falter recently, boxing fans have been trying to solve the riddle of Meldrick Taylor. He sees it simply as a problem of motivation in his training, one that an opponent of Terry Norris's stature can solve.
It's much easier to prepare yourself for a fighter that you gotta be ready for in order to beat him. I gotta have a big name opponent for me to really be motivated. But with somebody I don't know, I never seen fight before, it's very hard to get up because you don't know what he got to beat you with. You just kind of like just not be into it.
If anyone can motivate Taylor, it would appear to be the fearsome Norris. But he can also put Meldrick on the canvas. And you have to wonder if such a risky fight is the best thing for Taylor right now. He thinks it is, and it would be foolish to underestimate Meldrick Taylor. In spite of his recent lack of focus, this is a boxer who has never shied away from tough fights, who actually seeks out challenges, and who has repeatedly shown an ability to rise to his level of competition. Taylor knows that in order to attain the superstar status he covets, he must win this fight.
I think that Meldrick Taylor is at his crossroads right now. I think it's going to be a terrible setback for him should he lose the fight. I think he's got much more potential than he's shown so far. I think he's a much better fighter than he's shown so far. And I would hope with that competitiveness and that challenge of a Terry Norris that it comes out of him. And it better come out of him because he's going to be in for a tough fight.
They think that I'm in over my head, but I mean, that's the kind of person I am. I'm a very unusual fighter, and I think I fight and do things that any other fighter probably wouldn't even do. And I think a victory over Terry Norris will put me in that position to be a household name, to be able to make a buck dollars, to make a lot of money.
Meldrick Taylor is hungry for glory. That much is clear. What remains unanswered is whether he'll be able to reverse a trend and raise his level of performance. Against Terry Norris, he'll have to. And now we are back live at ringside. And this outdoor arena at the Mirage has baked in the sun all day long. It's beginning to cool off as you look at a couple of adoptive Angelinos, Sugar Ray Leonard and Magic Johnson, sitting together at ringside. This is a star-studded crowd tonight, Larry and George.
Look at that. Well, it's filled with some real fight fans who understand that they're watching two of the top 3 or 4 fighters in the ring.
And there comes Meldrick Taylor in the tiger-striped hooded outfit. And you see that he attempts to become the 6th welterweight champion to win the super welterweight title. He also guns for what would be the 3rd championship of his career in a 3rd separate weight class. And accompanying Taylor into the ring, the terrific corner of co-manager and co-trainer Lou Duba and the second co-trainer George Benton, who is really the primary architect of Meldrick Taylor's style, Larry.
Right, because he was a Philadelphia fighter himself, and he said an interesting thing to me this morning. He said that the best thing that has happened to Meldrick Taylor was fighting 2 really tough, strong welterweights in Aaron Davis and Glenwood Brown, because he's finally learned that he has to reduce some of that Philadelphia relentless aggressiveness, be occasionally smart about his fighting and not stick his chin out there.
And above and beyond that, he opted for bigger, stronger sparring partners with an eye toward preparing for Norris's power. The only downside being that he was knocked down in sparring in getting ready for this fight.
Now, I've always measured fighters, George, not by whether they get knocked down, because if you're a real fighter, you're going to get knocked down, but by what happens next. Do you get up? Do you fight back? Do do you learn how to adapt to the new circumstances?
You adapt and you're going to be a great champion.
There's the record for Meldrick Taylor, 29 wins, the one loss to Chavez in March of 1990. The draw with Howard Davis early in his career was actually regarded as a plus, not a minus at that time. 15 knockouts, but only one since he moved up to 147 pounds. And tonight, he agreed to a weight limit of 150.5 pounds, midway between his welterweight level and the 154-pound level at which Terry Norris won a world championship. Here's a list of the champions that Taylor has fought in his career. All three of those fights against champions went into the 12th round.
And conceivably that's significant, or could be significant, because Taylor knows what it is to have a hard, tough fight that goes the distance. Norris hasn't yet to experience that.
At least certainly against an opponent the quality of Meldrick Taylor. And now from the opposite side of the arena, Terry Norris leaves his dressing room and prepares to enter the ring. Soft-spoken, relatively quiet, a small-town guy from Lubbock, Texas, now living in Alpine, a suburb of San Diego, and training in the tiny town of Campo near the Mexican border.
And while Meldrick Taylor is famous as a Philadelphia fighter, coming out of that Philadelphia fight culture, Terry Norris, as a Texan, has his own tradition that he's come out of, and that's a family tradition. His father was a fighter. His brother is still a fighter, was a ranked heavyweight at one time, and that really does count for something.
And, of course, George Foreman will be the first to tell us that there are a lot of Texans who think they can fight just as well as Philadelphians.
Nah, you better believe it. But I think Norris may be the big fish out of the sea going into the little stream because of those 4 pounds. To the ordinary person who loses 4 pounds, that's nothing. But when you lose 4 pounds and you jump in that ring in another class, dangerous things can happen to you.
Terry Norris argues that coming down from 154 to 150.5 isn't that difficult for him. He normally fights at 152 anyway. But as you'll see in a moment, there was a surprise at this morning's weigh-in, and it may not have augured in Norris's favor, despite the rising odds which favor him in the legal bookmaking parlors here. There's the record for Terry Norris. Of the 3 losses, 2 were earlier in his career, 1 by disqualification. You almost throw them out given his level of class now. The one that really changed him was a second-round knockout at the hands of the hard-punching Julian Jackson.
And like Taylor, he took a lesson from that, and he's been a better fighter ever since that fight.
Champions fought. Terry Norris has been in with 7 of them. Once again, Donald Curry, Ray Leonard, and John the Beast Mugabe were all functionally at the end of their careers when Norris defeated them. Can anybody read yet what Norris has carved into the back of his haircut today? Yes, it says knockout. And he has confided to friends that he hopes and expects to win the fight by a knockout. Tail of the tape, Norris is 3.5 inches taller, has 8 inches more reach. Stunningly, Terry Norris weighed in at only 149 pounds, equal to Taylor's weight. A look at the weigh-in, Larry.
Yes, and he had about a pound of stuff on him as well.
149
and he may have
pounds.
overtrained for this big fight of his career, which could be telling if we do have a long, grueling fight.
Norris's handlers say they have trouble keeping him out of the gym between fights. He is so eager to spar and to train all the time. Will it have hurt him tonight? We will soon see. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Well, here are the numbers, and we can see that both fighters are very active. Taylor has actually reduced the number of punches he has thrown in recent fights. They both throw a lot of fights and land a high percentage. But here from the jabs, you can see that Norris throws fewer jabs, lands more harder punches.
And rules for the bout from our unofficial scorer at ringside, Harold Letterman.
Jim, terrible Terry Norris and Meldrick Taylor will fight tonight using the rules of the World Boxing Council. 3 judges scoring the fight on a 10-point must system. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. You can be saved by the bell in the last round only. Only the referee can stop the fight. The doctor can't stop it. And in case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, and that butt causes the fight to be stopped. That cut causes the fight to be stopped. We'll go to the scorecards after the 3rd round has been completed. Before that, it's a technical draw. Jim?
Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, just recently, a member of the boxing fraternity passed away. He was a man of great dignity and charisma as he plied his trade in the very center of the ring. He was a ring announcer who brought showmanship into the ring as he was well known as a big band singer. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would everyone please remain silent as we toll the final count of 10 for the man known as the voice of boxing for 40 years, Mr. Jimmy Lennon. God bless you, Jimmy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Main Events Monitor Productions, along with Al Goosen Promotions, in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beer, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This contest is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Luther Mack, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Dr. James Nave, Dr. Elias Ghanem and Bruce Lane, Executive Director Chuck Minker, and the World Boxing Council, represented ringside by Supervisor by Nevada's own Dr. Elias Ghanem. Physicians in attendance, Dr. Flip Homansky and Dr. Al Capana, and Dr. James McLennan. Timekeeper Al Bisick, counting for the knockdown seconds, Jane Broadfoot. The scoring for this bout will be done by 3 judges assigned at ringside. They are Dalby Shirley, Franz Marti, and Mickey Van. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of all the action, working a title bout as referee for the 65th time, Mr. Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Mirage here in Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the tiger skin colors, weighing 149 pounds. This 1984 Olympic gold medal champion is 29-1-1 with 15 KOs as a professional, and he's held 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, introducing the challenger, 2-time world champion and current WBA welterweight champion of the world, Meldrick TNT Taylor. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red and white trunks, weighing 149 pounds. He brings an outstanding professional record into the ring tonight with 31 victories, 17 by KO, against only 3 defeats. From Campo, California, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Terrible Terry Norris.
All right, this is for the championship of the world. We've already gone through all the instructions. I expect a tough, clean fight. Any questions from the challenger? Nope. Any questions from the champion? Let's get it on.
Well, you got let's get ready to rumble. You got let's get it on. Need we say any more?
Yeah, there's 2 questions going into this fight. One, in the early rounds, can Taylor take Norris's punch? As the fight goes along, can Norris take the pace of a tough, long fight?
Meldrick Taylor sprints from his corner. The speculation is that a faster pace will favor Taylor. A slower pace might give Norris more chance to marshal his efforts for the knockout he wants to see. Body punching from Taylor to begin the fight. Meldrick lands a long right hand, tries to follow with the left, pawing with the jab. Norris, the slower starter, he has a history of slow starts in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Stunning left hook to the body by Taylor.
I think Norris is filling him out just a little too long.
The fight just started, George. But Taylor has come out of the blocks very fast.
If the first round is to be a statement, clearly Meldrick Taylor wants to state that this will be a boxing match on his terms. He does not want to go near the ropes with Terry Norris. Norris slow to release his punches and missing so far. Meldrick Taylor beating him to the punch. Now Norris lands a short right hand inside. The more Taylor throws, the more he makes himself available for counter punches, and Terry Norris is a good counter puncher once he gets going. Norris says he's willing to take some leather because he doesn't believe Meldrick Taylor can hurt him.
Norris had better believe it.
So you think that's a bad idea, George?
Right, he's taken a few too many shots already.
Body shot by Norris. Wobbled Meldrick Taylor for just an instant. Years ago, Norris was exclusively a right-hand puncher, but the left hook has increasingly become his most effective power punch.
Watch on the inside, come on.
Norris lands a right hand as they step apart, and now Terry Norris initiates an exchange for one of the first times in the bout. First minute of the fight belonged exclusively to Taylor. Things have been evening up a little bit since then. Both punchers landing effectively there. As Taylor steps inside, he's giving Norris a chance to counter with short left hooks to the chin. Right hand counter landed for Norris. Terry looking much sharper in the last minute of the round than he did to start out.
That was state-of-the-art boxing, and it figures to get better.
All right.
It's beautiful the first round.
All right, now listen. Now go out there and handle the same way this round. You understand? Just go do the same thing you're doing this round. Make it miss, make it pay. Now look. Double and triple up on that jab. Ready? Now settle down a little more. Settle down a little more. See, read this guy. Look right.
You got to shoot that jab. Just place it like a radar. Because he's going to try to run under. Okay. Get up the cut. All right.
Let it flow here.
Relax. Deep breath. One force that right hand. Give me short. That right hand come back on the knuckle. You might be doing it back. Let's take body. Smell drink. Pound him.
In Taylor's corner, they're talking about make him miss, then make him pay. In Norris's corner, look for a chance to throw the uppercut.
And lest you be deceived into thinking that Meldrick Taylor bleeds from the mouth through this fight, he's wearing a red mouth guard. So if you see red between his lips, it does not necessarily mean there's blood. Let's see if Norris gets a chance to launch the uppercut, which he believes can be the most effective blow in this bout.
I think his corner, Taylor's corner, has told him wrong to try to match jabs at this point of the fight with Norris because it's too long. And he's quick with it.
Norris's reach advantage, in other words, would give him the edge there.
He's going to match up every time.
Meldrick following instructions from George Benton, though, is trying to jab. Norris trying to come over the top with a right hand. 4 straight right hands by Norris. Good body shot by Taylor. But Norris misses with the left hook.
But that is blood, I believe, now coming from Taylor's mouth already.
Hard to tell, but it might be. Recall that he bled from the mouth throughout the Chavez bout. It's one of the things that sent him to the hospital afterwards.
A lot of times the mouthpieces are
solid right hand by Norris, George. Right on the button. What about the mouthpiece?
The mouthpieces sometimes are built incorrectly, and they'll cause your lips to start bleeding prematurely, and you're not hurt.
Again, Meldrick Taylor comes forward, and again, Terry Norris tags him with the right hand. Norris is getting off with that right cross, George. There's the uppercut, and there's the uppercut again. Norris landed it twice. By attempting to jab against Norris's longer reach, Meldrick Taylor appears to have set up a good round for Terry Norris here. Lancing blow with the right hand, but Taylor steps back. because he knows the power that Norris packs.
Norris seems to be showing no respect for Taylor's punching power at all, George.
And Taylor has reverted back to old Philadelphia style. Hit me two, I'll get you one later.
George, what can Meldrick do to prevent Norris from landing that short chopping right hand?
Taylor's got to go strictly defensive, if you ask me right now. Stop trying to match punches with the guy. Let him rule for a few minutes, the first couple of rounds. Get him later on.
Taylor missed with the long right. Norris came back with the uppercut and landed it. That time Norris missed with the left uppercut. Taylor standing more stationary than we might have expected and still trying to jab, not being effective because he can't get it there. Round two coming to a close. It has been a very effective chapter for Terry Norris.
Listen, don't back up, go around, you understand? He's trying to nail you with the right hand. See what I mean? That would just keep the double and triple the jab. So you can't get the right hand over. You got me covered? All right? Now,
Roger.
Mel, now when you get close, you hustle. The guy can't beat you on the inside, so you're all right inside, I'm telling you. You understand?
Your body punch is coming along good. Keep it up. But jab you.
Relax, relax.
The mouth's already busted. You know what I'm talking about?
Always in working like that's all we are.
Now here is Norris in his most effective early in the round. A straight right hand, and then followed by another one. But neither one budged Taylor. Keep that in mind. Neither one budged Taylor. They certainly got his attention, but he hasn't just fallen over.
Round three, WBC Super Welterweight Champion Terry Norris defending his title against WBA Welterweight Champion Meldrick Taylor. They begin round three with a jabbing contest. And George Foreman, between rounds, George Benton told Meldrick Taylor to stick with the jab, and you shook your head.
No way. He's got to hit and move out of the way. Hit, move out of the way constantly. That's his only hope.
Well, as they traded punches there, Meldrick Taylor got in a left hook that may have been his most effective blow. And now for the moment, Taylor seizes command and steps inside.
Get them punches up. Come on, come on, come on.
Norris missing twice with the right hand. Got a glancing land with it once. Left to the body by Norris was good. Right hand by Norris on the button. Meldrick doesn't have a lot of commitment to the jab, George.
No, and he should never. He's standing still because his corner told him to use this jab. If they had told him to hit and run away, he would have a better chance at this point.
Meldrick got off to a good start in this round, but now Terry Norris is taking over again. And Meldrick looks a little flustered by Norris's willingness to just wail away with power shots. Don't know how long Terry Norris can bounce like that, though.
He only bounces when he's extra confident.
Now Mills Lane gets ready to talk about low blows again, and Meldrick Taylor argues, no, I didn't get him low. Right hand lands.
And Taylor sticks his tongue out at him and says, I took your shot, you didn't get me.
Well, that usually means just the opposite. Good lefts to the body by Taylor, two of them in sequence. That's where I think he has to go, George, inside and to the body.
That's right, and out of the way, because if this fight goes the distance, those body punches are going to start to hurt and wear down Terry Norris, bouncing around with his legs.
Particularly if Norris, as we suspect might be the case, is overtrained and ill-prepared to stretch himself to 12 rounds in this heat. There's the right again, sneaking over the top of Taylor's left. Meldrick again with the smile on his face. I'm not sure the message will get across if Terry Norris keeps landing this way. And for the moment, the blinding hand speed of Meldrick Taylor has been neutralized, and as he waits outside for Terry Norris to step forward with power shots.
Norris, I feel, is fighting the fight that Mildred Taylor should be fighting. Move, hit a few, and get out of the way.
Okay. Taylor is notorious for loving to eat between fights, but he's eating too many of those right hands in this fight right now.
I think I'll land every time. We just got to do more often. All right? Deep breath. Now we start going to the body. Okay? Leaving that hook. Make sure that right hand is up because he's going to counter with the hook. All right? Let's get up. All right. Okay. You understand? Now don't be on the outside now. You got to move up, but you got to move up behind the left hand. See, don't be hanging outside. This guy's trying to hit you with a long punch.
So you're on the outside too much. You got to jab your way in, jab his chest, then go to the body.
Yeah, now don't move up in a crouch.
Okay, let's take a look. There's a nice left hand by Norris to the body. But the right hand to the long looping right hand, it isn't hitting Taylor flush, but it's effective, it's scoring, and it piles up points.
And it messes up the ear so you can't hear your instructions that well.
And Meldrick doesn't seem to know yet how to neutralize it.
As you heard his corner, they want him to jab his way and get in at close quarters where Taylor doesn't want to be.
Right hand punch landed for Meldrick Taylor as he stepped in. So again, Norris takes a full shot from Taylor. And again, Norris tries to come back. Right hand landed for Taylor. And for Norris.
This fight is everything it was supposed to be.
Isn't it? Good, solid lefts in close by Taylor. A right hand by Norris in exchange. Again, the right hand lands for Norris. Taylor's left not there to block it. Overhand right. Taylor wobbly.
4, 5, 6, 7. I know you are.
Now remember that in his last title defense, Meldrick Taylor was twice knocked down by Glenwood Brown. These are right hands by Norris that have done the damage.
Norris, of course, has invested into some good body shots also.
Solid left hand. Meldrick swinging wildly, leaving himself wide open. Norris missed an easy shot. Plenty of time left in the round. The word on the back of Terry Norris's haircut is knockout, and that's what he's thinking about right now. Lou Duba yelling for Meldrick Taylor to clinch, but Meldrick keeps throwing leather and dropping his hands. Norris with the uppercut landed. He's trying to measure him and take a shot.
It's about pure hard now.
Come on, Mel.
Skills went out of the window.
Meldrick still wobbly in there, George.
Put that jab up there.
Should he be grabbing and clinching?
He should, but he's got too much heart and soul. He's Philadelphia bred and trained. He doesn't know how to clinch.
He thinks that as Norris throws, he's going to get a chance to land one in return. Norris with another solid right. Meldrick is woozy on the ropes. Second knockdown.
4, 5.
There'll be about 20 seconds left when the count is complete. Here comes Terry Norris to try to finish him off.
There's no free knockdown rule. Keep that in mind.
And there's no quit in Meldrick Taylor. A decision for Lane to make. He's very close to stopping it, and there it is.
Rightful decision.
Meldrick Taylor almost got out of the round, but Terry Norris wouldn't let him. Mills Lane with a very tough decision, and you say, George, a good one.
A good decision. He's a young fighter. He still has a future ahead of him. He was fighting a bigger man. He needn't take an extra beating.
I think it was a case of too much heart, Larry.
Well, that's what we said earlier, that when champions fight, their instinct is when they get hit, they're going to hit the other guy back. That's what has made these kinds of fights so action-filled. somewhat slightly reminiscent in another way of Hearns and Hagler. They just both came out. They boxed very hard. But Terry Norris found that he could land that right hand. And as Taylor tried to get in close.
Right on top of the head. Strange that a middleweight fighter can knock you down in that fashion.
If you remember between rounds, Georgie Benton told Taylor, you must jab your way and get in close. But when he got in close, he got nailed. That's the danger of getting in close, George.
It was that shot right by the ear. So Norris is indeed a clever boxer. He's a puncher.
Now let's take a look at the second knockdown. We're going to, from some different angles. There was probably the hardest punch of the lot. And you can see Taylor is hurt. And a punch on top of the head sends him reeling. He's off balance. Dazed.
Who gives you instructions for when you're hurt?
Only your heart and only your memory can give you those instructions.
And those shots, the first one was right on between the chin and the cheekbone, which is hard to recover from.
Interestingly, Terry Norris has a history of hitting fighters when they're down. He got disqualified for it once. He did it to both Leonard and Curry. He managed to restrain himself here, even though he had 2 free shots at Taylor as Taylor was going down.
Yeah, you practice for months and months. That's a hard thing to control.
There's Mills Lane stepping in with the final decision. He was in a neutral corner when he made the stoppage, and here was the reaction of Lou Duva as Mills Lane got ready to stop the bout. Lou Duva, who roots so hard for his fighters, George, who wants so much for them in his heart. Kind of half-hearted.
He loves these young men as his sons. Never been a trainer that loves his fighters as much as this guy.
That was a no that sounded almost as much like a yes. And we'll take a look at final punch stat numbers, I think, which will indicate to you that Terry Norris landed an increasing number of power blows through the bout. Norris was throwing toward the end exclusively right hands over the top, left hooks and left uppercuts. And there you see that Taylor threw an extraordinary 302 blows, but landed only 26% and could not hold off the power of Terry Norris. Now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mills Lane steps in to stop this contest at 2 minutes and 55 seconds into round number 5. The winner and still WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Terrible Terry Norris.
A look at a very, very disappointed, probably heartbroken Meldrick Taylor. And Larry Merchant stands by with the victorious Terry Norris.
Thank you, Jim, and congratulations, Terry. What transpired in the fight that let you know that you could hit him with so many clean right hands?
Well, he came out, flat-footed. I thought he was going to move a lot more, and I knew he was dropping his right hand, but his jab hand, I was coming over, and then when he bring it back real low, so I just kept throwing the right hand. When I heard him with one, well, I think it was a hook I heard him with, and I just finished him off, started throwing right hands. I knew he was vulnerable for him.
You had knockout carved into your hair for this fight. Why were you convinced that you would come to the ending that, in fact, you did?
The reason is because I had, I'm a bigger guy. They talked a lot of stuff talking about he's going to stand flat-footed and fight me. And he did that. That was his mistake, and I caught him. I knew if he stood right in front of me, I'd knock him out.
Let's take a look at these knockdowns. And, Terry, you describe what was going through your mind and what happened here.
Right here, I'm just basically trying to set him up with a jab. Knew mine was right, and caught him with a right hand, good right hand. I was trying to catch him with the uppercuts all day, but it was missing him by a little bit. Another right hand, they caught him. I saw him buckle, and that's when I went with the right hands. Just constantly trying to land those right hands on him, take him out.
All right, now we're going to go to the second knockdown. Tell us what happened there. How did you know that it was near the end?
I knew it was near the end because I'm a good finisher. I just set him up and start catching him with the right hands again. I knew he couldn't get away from him, so I just kept throwing the right hand. Jab, right hand.
All right, now we're going to take a look at the end of the fight. There were 5 seconds left in the round. Do you think that the referee did the best thing by stopping the fight there?
I think so, because I was going to just jump on him and start, nothing but punches, a lot of punches. And I was just going to keep keying off on him until the referee stopped. So luckily, the referee stepped in before I hurt him badly.
You think in the end it was simply that you were just too strong for him?
I believe so. I was walking right through his punches. I told him in the press conference if he pity-pat with me, I'd walk right through him, and that's exactly what I did.
All right, what are your plans now? Do you want to go and fight for the middleweight championship? Who is in your sights?
Well, right now, I came in 148 for this fight. I may go down to welterweight, fight somebody there. I have no idea right now. Maybe go up to the middleweight, fight someone there. But right now, I'm going to take me a little rest, and then we'll go back and sit with managers and trainers, and then we'll decide.
Thank you. That was terrific stuff, Terry. We'll see you again for sure. Back to you, Jim and George.
All right, so in the end, it was the dreaded conventional wisdom where boxing skills were relatively even, hand speed relatively equal. Power made the difference. Must make you feel good.
This big man is strange to lose so much weight and have the power of a heavyweight. It's strange, but Norris has it.
Part of that seems to me, George, that he throws his power punches with such reckless abandon. He's really fearless in there, willing to really commit to every right and left hand when he throws for power.
Not cautious at all. I couldn't believe it. Going into a great fighter like this guy Taylor, he's a great fighter, but he went in not caring, and he won this fight.
To a certain degree, Taylor made it easy for him. You pointed out he thought he had the wrong
strategy all along. Too big to stand up and go toe-to-toe with this big man.
Well, let's see how Meldrick feels about that as he stands by now with Larry Merchant. Larry?
Okay. Meldrick, you give us your impression of what happened. Was he just too strong for you?
He was too strong. He deserved to be champion. I did everything I could to get in the best shape I did. I worked very hard. And he still had, caught me to go punch and rob me. He's very strong, and I can't take nothing away from him. He's a great champion.
By trying to get inside of him, did you make it easy for him to stand back and hit you, or was that really the only way you could fight him because of his reach and size?
Well, that was my mistake, standing on the end of his punches. I should have stayed in closer, come in behind the jab, and close the gap and stay inside in his chest and kept working the body, because I know when I was going to the body, I was hurting him and doubling up on my shots to the head. But it was just hard to keep staying close and keep the distance on short.
You have great ambitions for yourself. You want to be not just a great fighter, but a great man in a way in prize fighting. How crushing is this defeat for you?
It's my only second time in my career losing, and nobody likes to lose. But I got to take the bad with the good and show how true of a champion I am to be able to come right back. And right now, I'm not even going to consider anything right now. I'm going to take some time off, and when it's time for me to collect my thoughts and get with my people and evaluate what I'm going to do right now. But it's a very hard loss for me, and for the fans and supporters that was behind me, the fact that I was going to win the fight, and I feel as though I let them down.
But we can safely assume you'll be back to being a welterweight and you'll stay in that division.
Well, I fell short of my goal, my dreams to be three-time world champion. And I'm still champion, but it feels as though I still lost a very important and significant fight in my career, something that I would probably be hard to get over.
Thank you very much for sharing those thoughts with us. We'll see you many times here again. Thank you, Meldrick.
Thank you, Larry.
Back to you again, Jim and George.
You got to feel sorry for Meldrick Taylor. Julio Cesar Chavez was his emotional goal for so long. Chavez stays down at 140 pounds, won't come up to 147 to fight against Taylor, so he has to go up in weight to try to get a big shot against a bigger guy, and it probably was a failed effort from the beginning.
Yeah, I think so. This guy's just too strong, this Norris. I don't know where he's get the strength from. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard never should have assessed his ability when he lost that fight. He lost to an Iron Man there.
You know, it's so easy for you heavyweights. You know who you're going to fight. You're all in the same division. Now the quandary for Terry Norris is, who does he fight? There's still no competition for him at 154 pounds, except for Gianfranco Rosi, an Italian. There aren't a lot of Americans who are going to pay a ton to see that. He'll either have to go up or down, probably, to get a big-name opponent, too.
But believe me, there's some young boy who's lurking out there
who thinks he can do something.
And may take it away from him a lot sooner than you think.
Let's go back to Larry Merchant now with referee Mills Lane to talk about the tough decision to stop the fight.
All right, I'm with Mills Lane, the referee. Mills, we're going to show you the end of the fight, and I want you to give us your thoughts as that evolved in the last round, where Taylor went down twice, certainly seemed dazed, was not out. How did you see it?
That's right, he was not out. It was early in the fight. He was on the end of some real strong stuff. He was getting nailed solidly. He was down twice, he was up. I thought he knew where he was, but he lost control of his legs, and Norris was really teeing off on him, and it seemed to me like that it wasn't late in the fight, and the last 3 rounds, it seemed to me like he was in trouble, and I didn't see any point in going any further with the shellacking he was getting to taking at that time.
From your point of view, this is your 65th championship fight, HBO's 100th championship fight. What was the quality of the prize fighting going on in there?
That was as good a fight as you'll see. Meldrick Taylor gave it all he had. Terry Norris may be one of the best in the world today, pound for pound. He's a hell of a fighter.
All right, we're going to take a look at the end of the fight as soon as our people can roll it up, and then you give us your thoughts as you watch it.
All right. Now, Norris, he's on the long end of that one. Now he shortens up a little bit. Taylor, he misses that one. Now he gets nailed again. Okay, that's the first knockdown.
How badly did you think Taylor was hurt at that point?
Right then, I didn't think he was hurt too bad. He was up, he talked to me, he said he was okay. I said, I know you're okay, but I got to give you 8. He tells me he's okay. Rolls his head, he said he's okay. He said he wants to go, he said he's okay. All right, now he's back. Now Norris is, okay, now that's a long shot. Now that's a good shot. Now underneath he gets him on the top. A left foot comes underneath. Taylor's back against the ropes, gets hit again solid. That's it.
And you indicate that if this was at the end of a fight and it had been a terrific fight, then you might give the benefit of the doubt. But at this stage of the fight, it's pointless.
Different issue. Last round, close to the end of the fight, different question.
Thank you so much, Mills.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jim and George, once more.
All right, thanks very much, Larry. And here's a surprise. George steps aside for a moment, and we're joined by a man who knows as much as anybody about Terry Norris's punching power, having experienced what you experienced against Terry at Madison Square Garden a year and a half ago. Is this about what you expected tonight, Ray Leonard?
Well, I expected more from Meldrick Taylor, but then again, there was a weight, strength, and confidence deficit. I thought that Taylor spent a lot of energy missing punches wide, angle punches, looping punches, and by the 3rd round, he was kind of spent. He didn't have the confidence, and all of a sudden, he became a frustrated fighter, putting his head down and throwing low shots.
I mentioned at the beginning of the evening, of course, Ray's long participation in our telecasts here on HBO, and on the occasion of this, our 100th championship fight telecast, it's a tremendous pleasure to get to talk to Ray about another serious subject. Speculation here in Las Vegas that you have been in the gym and training, and that you're here to talk about a potential comeback fight with Iran Barkley. Is that true?
The only comeback I'm going to make is against Larry Merchant on the tennis court.
So do you deny that you've been in the gym training?
I work out, but I have no...
You hit the heavy bag?
Yeah, once in a while, but I have no desire whatsoever. That convinced me to stay out of the ring, okay?
So despite what everybody says about the possibility of you coming back and fighting Iran Barkley, you're telling us no chance.
It means nothing, no. I'm a spectator now.
As your friend, I got to tell you, that does my heart good. And as somebody who had the privilege of working for you for a few years here on HBO, I thank you, and all boxing fans thank you for the thrills you gave us, not just as a fighter, but as a commentator.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Ray Leonard. And Larry Merchant, you got to feel a twinge of sympathy for Meldrick Taylor. He doesn't get a break. 2 seconds left in the bout when he is counted out against Chavez, or the fight is stopped, I should say, against Chavez. 5 seconds left in the round when the fight gets stopped here. There are strong rationales for the stoppages in both cases, but it doesn't remove the fact that Meldrick is unlucky when he loses.
Well, in this case, it was something else. In this case, he really was dazed by a bigger, stronger man, and a man who had absolutely no respect for his ability to punch, and came through. And you did see, as Ray said, you did see a point of frustration and trying to get inside to punch to the body and to command him inside. Just didn't work because Norris is too quick. His eyes see everything going on, much the way Ray Leonard did early in his career. He was able to step away, land his right hand, and make it a fight that, as you have already noted, went along with the conventional wisdom.
Yes. It was a fight from which we expected one fighter would emerge at the superstar level. What's in the future now for Terry Norris?
Well, it could happen. I thought 2 years ago after the Taylor-Chavez fight that we would see a series of fights in the 140 to 147-pound division that would parallel the great fights we had with Ray and Hagler and Hearns and Duran in the 80s. But those were four very exceptional fighters who came along, and each one of whom had captured the attention of the public on their own. That hasn't happened yet, but we know that there are a lot of terrific young fighters out here, and that Norris, if he were to, say, go up and fight for the middleweight title and win that, he would suddenly be vaulted into a star status that would make every one of his fights an event. Because although we said earlier that he had built his reputation by beating older guys, much like a lion who devours old zebras, he came in here today against a young, quick zebra, and he devoured him as well. So we've got to respect what he's done here tonight, and I think the fight lived up to our expectations.
I was wondering what the Lions were going to devour as you constructed that metaphor.
Even though Taylor came out in a tiger's
that's right.
suit.
Came out as a tiger, turned into a zebra. Well, here's Terry Norris's biggest fan at HBO. He has been singing his praises gloriously for 2 years, and George, I know you, like the rest of us, probably can't wait to see him again.
Oh, boy, he's one of the best fighters I've seen. And, you know, I was with HBO 20 years ago. I've seen a lot of fighters.
That's right. We've seen 100 championship fights here on HBO. We were so glad that you could be with us tonight. We told you from the beginning that we didn't feel a need to hype it, and then, of course, we hyped it because that's our business. But we must say, if you were disappointed in this, you don't like boxing. So pick something else to do next time. If you liked it as much as we did, we can't wait to be with you again. Thanks very much for being with us on this brilliant occasion of HBO's 100th championship fight. Once again, Terry Norris, the winner, with a technical knockout over Meldrick Taylor, retains his WBC Super Welterweight champion. Taylor remains the WBA World Welterweight champ. Boxing returns next Friday, May 15, live on TVKO. An undefeated heavyweight contender, Michael Moorer, takes on the rough and tough Bert Cooper for the WBO Heavyweight Championship on TVKO's Fight of the Month. And then live on May 16, be sure to join hosts Billy Crystal, Robin Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, and many top comedy stars as HBO proudly presents Comic Relief 5, an evening extravaganza to benefit the homeless. Where there's laughter, there is hope. Then on June 19, live on TVKO from Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, the undisputed heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield returns to the ring and puts his 3 titles on the line against aging former champion Larry Holmes. And on June 22, the most prestigious tennis tournament in the sport comes your way. For the 18th consecutive year, the championships of Wimbledon return to HBO. For 2 weeks, we'll present the most comprehensive tennis coverage on television as HBO Sports takes you all the way through the men's semifinals. Stay tuned immediately following tonight's boxing coverage for Stone Cold on the East Coast and New Jack City on the West Coast. So now for Larry Merchant, George Foreman, and Harold Letterman, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long live from Las Vegas, and we leave you with HBO boxing memories of 20 years of fights gone by.
How do you like it? How do you like it? Yeah. Come on, baby. We got 3 more rounds of fights, so you better. New champ.
The biggest upset in the history of heavyweight championship fights.
Rolex, we're on the air. Hearns guys has to tie him up or something. Going for the whole boat. Hitting him with combinations. Ready to give it everything he's got. Hearns starts down, but grabs, and now goes down through the rope. As you look at Aaron Pryor, and he is a man intense right now. Pryor with that jab and a combination again. And Arguello's in trouble. Arguello in big trouble against the ropes. Pryor going for the kill, trying to put him away. Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands to the side. It's over. Aaron Pryor has retained his junior welterweight championship. Arguello slips to the canvas. Champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. It's a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Burbick is down. And we have a new era in boxing. That was a right hand, and down goes Holmes from a crashing right hand.
And he's down again and in serious trouble.
My mission is to go and destroy and not to let anything get involved. When you punch, you get hurt. I refuse to be hurt, knocked down, and knocked out. I can't lose. I refuse to lose.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg. Tonight's telecast and HBO's 100th World Championship fight was produced by Michael J. Whalen and directed by Mark Payton. The feature producers were Brian McDonald, Kirby Bradley, and Paulette Douglas. The associate producers were Kendall Reed and Steve Salvatore. The assistants to the producer were David Leipson, Adam Berger, and Artie Curry. The production manager was Russell Gabay, and the technical supervisor was John Roche. Taylor's glory, reminiscent of a young Ray Leonard.
If he gets up, he probably wins the fight.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Ryder Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go. You're going to watch Lou Numa go absolutely berserk. When Evander stops punching, George gets a chance, and he's making the most of it right now. Foreman left, by Holyfield, and a left and a right, and Foreman's in serious trouble. Bell may save him in this round. The word on the back of Terry Norris's haircut is knockout, and that's what he's thinking about right now. He's very close to stopping it, and there it is!
Rightful decision.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.